Do you agree that we spend too much time outside the present moment? According to a study, we spend almost 50% of the time being awake, not thinking about what we're doing. So, what are we thinking about instead? Well, let's find out as we progress to this course. We are all time travelers. In fact, we spend 25% of our time thinking about the past and 65% of it thinking of the future. In this course, we aim to increase the 10% of the time we live in the present moment and understand why mindfulness is essential to our personal and professional growth. Hi everyone, and welcome to Mindfulness in the Workplace. What is mindfulness? To put it simply, mindfulness is paying attention on purpose in the present moment. It's about being just to be. When you practice mindfulness at home or mindfulness in the workplace, you become the better version of yourself. People who have been trained in mindfulness say that they become more aware of how their own mind works. They see how their own thoughts impact perceptions and therefore the decisions they make. When you learn to keep these filters in check, you are more willing to listen and learn from others. Mindful people have learned to focus on one task at a time. They are able to isolate their own self to the situation and reflect to it, and then eventually respond to it. In that sense, mindfulness goes way beyond thinking outside the box to not even having a box to begin with. Mindful people seek the best solution to whatever problem they might have. Most people who practice mindfulness do it by starting any meditative process. They usually start with deep breathing, which tends to relax every part of your body and mind. Then they focus on one thing, just one thing. It can be a blue lion as illustrated in this video.
What if there existed a magic pill that can improve your health, help you live longer, build creativity, help discover your true self, and ultimately make you happy? How much would you pay for a pill like this? What if it were free? Well, that pill exists, and it's called mindfulness.
We have, on average, 60,000 thoughts a day. Now the trouble is, most of the thoughts are either about the past or worried about the future. Our minds can often be our worst enemy, and negative thought patterns can lead to stress, anxiety, depression, and in turn will affect our physical health.
To demonstrate how little control you have over your mind, try this. Close your eyes and think of a blue lion. Can you do it? Now do it again, but this time, close your eyes and think of a blue lion, and only of a blue lion for 1 minute. Don't let any other thought interrupt. I bet you can't.
Why is that? Well, it's the nature of the mind to wander, and you'll notice that as soon as you attempt to concentrate only on the blue lion, within a few seconds another thought will pop into your mind, like, this exercise is silly, I'm hungry, or what is this all about? It's because our mind never ceases to throw random thoughts our way.
Mindfulness helps us to take back a little of that control. It helps to develop tools, allowing us to not only notice these thoughts as they appear, but also allow us to choose the way we respond to them.
Imagine standing in front of a dog with a bone in your hand, waving it left to right. Then throw the bone. What will the dog do?
Now imagine standing in front of a lion, again waving the bone in its face, and then you throw it. What do you think the lion will do?
The lion might attack or might not. The point is the fundamental difference between the mind of a lion and a dog. The bone represents all of reality to the dog. The lion can see beyond the bone and has a choice on how to respond to the situation. Who is the king of the jungle? Who is the king of the inner jungle? The brain is a muscle and it can grow. Just as our muscles in the body need to be exercised, so do the muscles in the brain. Mindfulness is like doing a set of mental push-ups. As a thought enters your mind, this is the beginning of the push-up. The completion of the push-up is 1. Being aware of the thought without judgment, and 2. Bringing your attention back to the breath. It's that simple. The next thought that pops into your mind is the beginning of the next mental push-up.
Scientists have shown that just after 8 weeks of practice, the parts of the brain responsible for the positive stuff, like creativity, emotional intelligence, and happiness, physically can change shape and grow.
The amygdala, responsible for the fight or flight mechanisms related to stress, depression, and addictive behaviors, actually shrinks during this time.
The scientific evidence is so strong now that mindfulness is being employed in places like Google, Bank of America, the US Marines, and the National Health Service.
More profoundly, simple mindfulness exercises can give you a new lens in which to see yourself and the outside world without the ego, and also your relationship with the present moment.
It has nothing to do with religion, and it's helping us to enjoy life, be happy, and ultimately allow us to help others. Visit renaissancepodcast.com to find out more. Be mindful. The goal is the path.
Mindfulness in the workplace is important because we are a knowledge-based economy and not a manufacturing company. In a manufacturing economy, the body was the primary means of production. But in a knowledge economy, it is the brain. Having said that, employee, us, is the company's capital asset. However, did those who manage others were given training to manage themselves? As we always mention in the previous courses, our brain should always be exercised. If a manager is unable to focus, that becomes a major problem because every negative emotion influences decision making. Mindfulness in the workplace allows managers to let go of thoughts about the past and future and focus on the present. A manager who masters this ability can hold meetings that take place in the present and let go of previous meetings. Employees at Google have learned to calm themselves when they want, and this helps them be more productive at work. Essentially, they learn how to deal with the unknown even before they know there is something they don't know. Mindful employees are often able to perceive their own growth, particularly when it comes to their relationships with their colleagues. But can practicing mindfulness in the workplace help deal with difficult managers? If it is true that you can only control yourself, then it doesn't right to be angry at a boss no matter how difficult. Difficult managers will always be difficult. But when an employee practices mindfulness, they create an ability to relate to that manager with a much broader perception and with new skills. The employee can respond with more discipline and with the ability to see things more clearly than others. The secret to any mindfulness based strategy is attention to the present. Basically, you get the brain you mindfully practice. Here is a video to help you start a few simple mindfulness exercises.
Humans are natural time travelers. It's true. Now, I'm not talking about the type of time traveling which Neutrino can do. I'm talking about mental time traveling. Check it out.
Okay, Dante, now this is what I want you to do. I want you to get all the files and put them. Sabrina, there is nothing to argue about. 9 p.m. is your curfew and that's it.
Dad, I'm not a little kid. Billy gets to stay out till 10. You, Mom, just don't get it.
Okay, so what do you think, Dante? What? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Moon. I missed that. Gosh darn it, Durango, pay attention. Terrible.
Dante, you'll never believe what happened to me today.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. You know what, Durango? We don't really need you anymore since you're so terrible.
Dante, isn't that great? Dante, did you hear me?
See what I mean? It's possible to leap unconsciously into a future which has yet to happen or slip quickly into the past. The problem is, your time in these realms is often spent ruminating about stressful events. What's more is, you miss out on precious time to grab opportunities, to engage fully in life, and to just be. You miss out, my friends, on the present. So what can you do to savor the here and now? Let's look at an ancient Buddhist practice known as mindfulness. Mindfulness is linked to many benefits.
Hello? Oh, hi. Neutrino sent me here today. I've been kinda stressed out. She said you might be able to help.
Oh, hey, Dante, perfect timing. I've been talking about mindfulness.
Oh, well, I don't think I can make my mind blank. No, I'm not like a yoga person. That stuff doesn't work for me.
No problem then, because the goal of mindfulness is certainly not to create a blank slate.
Well, what's it about then?
Have a seat, I'll show you. Now, first things first, relax and close your eyes. Trust me. Now, bring your attention to your breath. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. I want you to engage your senses fully. Notice each sight, touch, and sound within your mind's eye. Your thoughts may wander.
Oh, shucks, I can't do this.
No, you're doing great, Dante. This time, instead of reacting to your thoughts, I want you to pretend you are just an observer watching your thoughts float by without reaction or judgment.
An observer? Okay, I'll try it.
Mindfulness disentangles you from reacting to particular emotions and thoughts as you become a non-judgmental observer of yourself. Mindfulness can be practiced in many different ways. There are meditations, physical practices. You can even practice mindful eating. The important thing to remember is each path is an invitation to wake up, experience the fullness of your life, and to transform not your problems, but your relationship with your problems.
Wow, I was able to think about all my problems without losing it. That was, well, different and good. Thank you.
Anytime, my friend, anytime.
The Mayo Clinic has compiled an easy-to-do list of mindfulness exercises. First, pay attention. It's hard to slow down and notice things in a busy world. Try to take the time to experience your environment with all of your senses: touch, sound, sight, smell, and taste. On the next video, we will have a meditation session on how to do it. This therapy is called Wheel of Awareness. Second, live in the moment. Try to intentionally bring an open, accepting, and discerning attention to everything you do. Find joy in simple pleasures. Third, accept yourself. Treat yourself the way you would treat a good friend. And last, focus on your breathing. When you have negative thoughts, try to sit down, take a deep breath, and close your eyes. Allow me to share with you this simple trick I learned to help you focus on your senses and cut through anxiety.
Place the index finger from one hand on the outside of the pinky on your other hand. As you breathe in, trace up to the tip of your pinky, and as you breathe out, trace down the inside of your pinky. On your next inhale, trace up the outside of your ring finger, and on the exhale, trace down the inside of your ring finger. Keep going, finger by finger, until you've traced your entire hand. 5-finger breathing draws upon multiple senses at the same time. You're watching and feeling your fingers as you're paying attention to your breath. As you do this, you're also calming your physiology down. So if your worry thoughts come back, they won't have the same emotional tone. They'll be easier to let go of. So the next time you get worked up, try doing this exercise and breathe.
Mindfulness is based on the idea that most people focus their minds in the past or the future the vast majority of the time. They handle the present mostly by operating an autopilot. Mindfulness is just a way of directing attention, paying attention to become more aware of our emotions, beliefs, and actions in the present. When you know accurately what is really happening in the present, you are more able to respond correctly. Here are a few more structured mindfulness exercises you can practice. Body scan meditation. Lie on your back with your legs extended and arms at your sides, palms facing up. Focus your attention slowly and deliberately on each part of your body, from toe to head or head to toe. Be aware of any sensations, emotions, or thoughts associated with each part of your body. Sitting meditation. Sit comfortably with your back straight, feet flat on the floor, and hands in your lap. Breathing through your nose, Focus on your breath moving in and out of your body. If physical sensations or thoughts interrupt your meditation, note the experience and then return your focus to your breath. Walking meditation. Find a quiet place, 10 to 20 feet in length, and begin to walk slowly. Focus on the experience of walking, being aware of the sensations of standing and the subtle movements that keep your balance. When you reach the end of your path, turn and continue walking, maintaining awareness of your sensations. To understand why living in the moment is necessary is a successful mindfulness practice. Consider how conscious actions become non conscious habits. So, let us first answer the question, why do we mind wander so much? If we think of the mind as the metaphor of the music player, we see this. We can rewind the mind to the past to reflect on events that already happened, right? Or we can go in fast future to plan for the next thing that we want to do. And we land this mental time travel mode of the past or the future very frequently. And we land there often without our awareness. I remembered when I was talking to a friend and she was telling story, but when she finished, I understand nothing. This happens to us. And when this happens, we mind wander without an awareness that we are doing it. There are consequences. We make errors. Sometimes we miss critical information. And we have difficulty making decisions. What's worse is when we experience stress. When we're in the moment of overwhelm, we don't just reflect on the past. When we rewind, we end up being in the past, ruminating it, reliving, or regretting events that already happened. Or under stress, we fast forward the mind, not just to productively plan, but we end up catastrophizing or worrying about events that haven't happened yet and frankly may never happen. So at this point, you may be thinking to yourself, okay, mind wandering is happening a lot. Often it happens without our awareness, and under stress, it's even worse. We mind wander more powerfully and more often. Is there anything we can possibly do about this? And I'm happy to say the answer is yes. The opposite of a stressed and wandering one is a mindful one. Again, mindfulness has to do with paying attention to our present moment experience with awareness and without any kind of emotional reactivity of what is happening. It's about keeping that button right on play to experience the moment to moment unfolding of our lives. But it is practice. You have to embody this mindful mode of being to have any benefits. Mindfulness exercises are very much like physical exercises. If you don't do it, you don't benefit. But if you do engage in mindful practice, the more you do, the more you benefit. So, before we end this is the call of action for you. And here it is. Pay attention to your attention. Pay attention to your attention and incorporate mindfulness training as part of your daily wellness toolkit in order to tame your own wandering mind and to allow your attention to be a trusted guide in your own life. Mindfulness enables people to be more aware of the importance of the present as opposed to the future or the past. Those who practice mindfulness usually start with deep breathing, then focus on one thing. This added focus helps people become more productive, creative, patient, and understanding.